Douglas. So for our lesson for today is all about ratio and proportion, module 1 in our fourth quarter grading period. Module 1 titled Ratio and Proportion. Learning objectives. So at the end of our lesson, the learners will be able to compare and differentiate ratio from rate. Write proportion illustrating real-life situations. Identify the different kinds of proportion and give example for each. And solve problems involving ratio and proportion. Introductions. Ratio and proportion are explained majorly based on fractions. When a fraction is represented in the form of A to B or A is to B, then it is a ratio, whereas a proportion states that two ratios are equal. Here A and B are any two integers. The ratio and proportion are the two important concepts, and it is the foundation to understand the various concepts in mathematics, as well in science. Ratios can be written as a fraction. So if we have given 4:3, that is in fraction, it is 4 divided by 3 or 4/3. We use colon or fraction form in writing ratios. Take note about that. In our daily life, we use the concept of ratio and proportion, such as in business, while dealing with money, or while cooking any dish. Sometimes students get confused with the concept of ratio and proportion. So in this lesson, the students get clear vision of these two concepts with more solved problems and examples. Let's define a proportion. A proportion is an equation with a ratio on each side. It is a statement that two ratios are equal. So for example, we have 3/4 is equal to 6/8. It is an example of a proportion because it is stated that a proportion is an equation. So 3/4 equals 6/8. We have an equality sign, and it is composed of two ratios. Therefore, they are proportion. 3/4 is equal to 6/8. We know already about that because if we take the equivalent fraction of 3/4, that is equal to 6/8. And if we divide by 2 the numerator and denominator of 6/8, the equivalent fraction is also 3/4. Therefore, they are proportion. When one of the four numbers in a proportion is unknown, cross products may be used to find the unknown number. Okay, so we will use a cross product multiplication in order to know the unknown in each problem that we will solve later on. Ratio. A ratio is a comparison of two numbers. So if we compare the value of two numbers, we use ratio. We generally separate the two numbers in the ratio with a column. Suppose we want to write the ratio of 8 and 12. That is 8:12 using a column. We can write this as 8:12 or as a fraction, that is 8/12 or simply 8 divided by 12, and we say the ratio is 8:12. So if we are going to state a ratio, we will use 2, just like 8:12, or we will also use 8:12. That is also a ratio. So for our example in our image, A to B using the word 2, that is pertaining to a ratio. A is to B using the colon symbol, and A divided by B or A/B using a fraction notation. What is a ratio and proportion in math? The definition of ratio and proportion is described here in this section. Both concepts are an important part of mathematics. In real life also, you may find a lot of examples such as the rate of speed. So the rate of speed is just like a distance divided by time, or distance over time. Or price, just like rupees per meter, or peso per meter, or a dollar per liter, that just like that, of a material, etc., where the concept of a ratio is highlighted. Proportion, on the other hand, is an equation which defines that the two given ratios are equivalent to each other. So for example, the time taken by train to cover 100 km per hour is equal to the time taken by it to cover the distance of 500 kilometers for 5 hours, such that 100 km per hour is equivalent to 500 kilometers per 5 hours. That is, they are proportion. So if we try to reduce 500 kilometers per 5 hours, that is also proportional to 100 kilometers per hour. How is ratio and proportion useful in business? So in real world, ratios and proportion are used on a daily basis. Cooking use as the following recipes. If we cook, we use the following recipe. For example, a business might have a ratio for the amount of profit earned per sale of a certain product, such as $2.5 is to 1, which says that the business gains $2.5 or $250 for each sale. So two terms that appear frequently in the context of business and finance are two words, ratio and rate. They are very useful in business. So for example, in stocks and investments, the price per earnings is a ratio that is a valuable tool to determine how much you should pay for a stock of a company. So we realize that if we use price per earnings, it is usable as a tool to determine how much you should pay for a stock of your business. Although the terms ratio and rate may seem interchangeable, they are not exactly the same. For general definition, a ratio A is to B between two numbers written A colon B means that for every A units of the first number, there corresponds B units of the second number. The numbers A and B are called terms of the ratio. We can also use other terms because they are variables. In your business, you make 20 pancakes, so you have to use 2 eggs. The question here is how many eggs are needed to make 100 pancakes. So, given tayo, no? Alam natin na makakagawa tayo ng 20 pancakes if we use 2 eggs. That is already given in the problem. But the question here is how many eggs are needed to make 100 pancakes. So the number of eggs to make 100 pancakes is our requirement. Yan yung hinahanap natin sa problem. So in our table, for small amount, no? As you can see here, we can make 20 pancakes if we use 2 eggs. So for our large amount, we can make 100 pancakes if we use X number of X na hindi pa natin alam. So yan yung sinusolve natin. So in this problem, we can use the multiplication product or the proportionality of our small amount equals to our large amount. Okay? We can use the proportion. So let's try to solve this one. So in our sample problem, based in our table, we can use 2x, okay? We can use 2x and we will end up with 20 pancakes if we use 2x, no? We can make 20 pancakes. That is also proportional to x over 100 pancakes. Ay, wait lang. Sige. Saga. Ano man. Okay, so in our problem, based in our table, we can make 20 pancakes if we use 2 eggs. The question in our problem So in our sample problem, based in our table, we can make 20 pancakes if we use 2 eggs. That is the proportionality of our small amount, which is equal to the large amount. If we use eggs, we can make 100 pancakes. So yung requirement sa problem is to solve for the value of x. Ilang eggs or ilang itlog yung magagamit natin to make 100 pancakes. Okay, so in our solution here, we can use the principles of cross product. No? Just simply multiply 100 times 2. So what is 100 times 2? That is 200. So 200 over 20 equals x. So what is 200 divided by 20? So that is 0 will be cancelled out, and 20 over 2, that is 10. So x equals to 10. So we can make 100 pancakes if we use 10 eggs. Okay, that is the value of our x. We can use 10 eggs to make 100 pancakes. This is our final answer. We can also solve this one by another method. Okay, so i-erase muna natin. Okay, so we already know that we can make 20 pancakes if we use 2 eggs based in our table. That is the proportion of our small amount, which is equal to eggs, no? Over 100 pancakes. No? So we can make 100 pancakes if we use our x number of eggs na hindi pa natin alam kung ilan, no? So using another method, we can multiply both sides by 100, okay, to eliminate the denominator 100. Okay, etong denominator na 100 na to, we can eliminate that by multiplying both sides by 100. Okay, so multiplying both sides by 100. So we have 100 times 2 over 20 is equal to x over 100 times 100. So as you can see here in our right side of our equation, makakancel yung 100 natin. Okay, 100 will be cancelled out. So what is 100 times 2? 100 times 2 is equivalent to 200 over 20 equals x na lang kasi na-cancel na si 100 kanina. So, the same results pa rin, no? 200 divided by 20 is equivalent to 10. So, x is equal to 10 eggs. Okay, so we use 10 eggs to make 100 pancakes. So, our solution is also the same in our previous solution. So this is our final answer. X equals to 10 eggs.